Hey everybody, you know me, you remember me, this is the Blue Eyes King. You know me from the Blue Eyes King channel, and you also know me as I played Kiba in my own Yu-Gi-Oh! Live action series in the Millennium Power Studio. Here I am in a new Duel Academy that's featured on Facebook and on here, YouTube, Cards of the Soul Duel Academy. Today, I'm going to be teaching you all. I'm going to teach you who will have watched Yu-Gi-Oh! But haven't even gotten to learn how to play the game. I'm going to teach you how to do the combos based on different decks that you want to get, or start you off with your very first deck. Today's lesson, I'm going to be teaching you how to use the Dark Magicians. And I know anybody who loves Dark Magician over here, please place in the comments below, as we're about to dive right in to your first lesson in Dark Magician related monsters, combos, and anything you'd like to know about Dark Magician. This is the Blue Eyes King Duel Mat, featured by my dimensional father and favorite character of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Seto Kaiba. Right over here, here's a deck. Right over here, here's a deck on the Dark Magicians. I'm going to show you all how to use the Dark Magician deck. We're going to start with the monster card known as Dark Magician, which is right here, and it was right on top of the deck. Dark Magician right over here is a level 7 star level dark attribute, which is right on top of the corner of the card, right up there. It's a spellcaster type normal monster with 2,500 attack points and 2,100 defense points. Now you all know who owned the Dark Magician first. It was the one and only King of Games himself, Yugi Muto. But Yugi Muto didn't first own the Dark Magician. The person who originally owned this Dark Magician was Yugi's grandpa, Solomon Muto, or in other words, Suguroko Muto. More on the line, Dark Magician cannot be normal summoned off the bat, like they did in Duelist Kingdom in the anime. Dark Magician can only be tribute summoned to the field, tribute normal summon, by tributing 2 monsters on your side of the field. Like, let's say these two monsters set face down in defense mode, or face up attack mode. Of course, you already know that is Apple Magician Girl. Yugi Muto used it in Dark Sided Dimensions. We'll get to that a bit later. But in order for you to summon the Dark Magician normally, you'd have to tribute both 2 monsters on your side of the field on your next turn, unless you have a spell card that allows you to do 2 normal summons, like the spell card Double Summon. Double Summon allows you to do 2 normal summons or sets instead of just 1. But I'll explain that a bit later. By tributing both of these 2 monsters off your side of the field to the graveyard pile, you can tribute summon from your hand Dark Magician, or you can tribute set the Dark Magician face down in defense mode, which is called a tribute set. You can only conduct 1 tribute summon, or you can only do 1 normal summon or tribute summon per turn. Tribute summon and normal summon, they're the same, but tribute summoning requires you to tribute 1 monster to tribute summon or tribute set a level 5 or 6 monster. But for a level 7 or higher, you must need 2 monsters on your field for the tribute summon. That's how you tribute summon Dark Magician. Okay, let's move on to different versions of Dark Magician. Everyone knows that the Dark Magician has come with different artworks, like the original version held by Yugi Moto, the black darker version of Dark Magician. I don't actually have that variation copy of it now, but I know somebody who does. On to have it later. There are different versions of Dark Magician. This is another picture artwork of the Dark Magician, which I will get to you in a second. And here it is, the Red Dark Magician. Now the Red Dark Magician right over here was used by Arcana, the magician duelist from Battle City that was working for Merrick Ishtar. Same thing as Dark Magician, but different artworks right here. You can have 3 copies of Dark Magician in your deck. Only 3. You can't have over. But there are monsters, ritual monsters, and fusion monsters that literally become Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. One of those I will get to you in a minute. Time's up. Here's a minute. The Magician of Chaos. Now the Magician of Chaos over here is a ritual monster that can only be ritual summoned using the ritual spell card that I'm going to show you right about here. In the spell chakra zone, you need to have both of these two, Magician of Chaos and Chaos Form, together in your hand to perform the ritual summon. But Magician of Chaos is a level 7 ritual spellcaster type monster with 2,500 attack points and 2,100 defense points, like the Dark Magician. Magician of Chaos can be ritual summoned with the ritual spell Chaos Form. It must be like that. It can't be the other way around, unless you have a spell card, a ritual spell card that does that, like said so, Advanced Ritual Arts. So I don't know that. But anyway, Chaos Form. This spell card can be used to ritual summon any chaos, like said Magician Chaos ritual monster, or a Blackluster Soldier ritual monster of any kind, like Blackluster Soldier, the original ritual monster, Blackluster Soldier Sacred Super Soldier, and Blackluster Soldier Legendary Swordsman. You can banish the Dark Magician from your graveyard to the banish pile over here to ritual summon Magician of Chaos from your hand with the ritual spell Chaos Form. While Magician of Chaos is on the field, Magician of Chaos becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. Once returned, when a spell or trap is activated, like say, if your opponent activates a spell card, like said, Swords of Revealing Light, you can say, I change in response to that while it's on the field. When a spell card, a trap card, or an effect is activated, you say quick effect that starts a chain because you're responding to the Swords of Revealing Light. Use the Magician of Chaos' effect, quick effect, to allow you to target one card on the field, either on your field or on your opponent's side of the field, and destroy it. That's what it says in the card text. But if this ritual monster, who is Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard, leaves the field by battle or by card effect, and by the way, tributing it off the field doesn't count. Just to let you know that you can't trip it off the field, consider a card effect, because that's not how it's worded. If this is destroyed by battle, in battle phase, or by the card effect, in battle phase, or on the main phase, or any time, remember, card effect. Always ask if a card is being destroyed by a card effect, because you gotta be opening your ears and figuring it out. Always ask, though. Always ask. But if Magician of Chaos is destroyed by a card effect, its effect will allow you to special summon one Chaos Ritual Monster or a Blackluster Soldier Ritual Monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. So basically, for example, if this card would be destroyed by card effect and go to the graveyard, you can basically special summon a Chaos Ritual Monster from anywhere in your hand, like Illusion of Chaos, for example. I can special summon this from my hand to the field because a Magician of Chaos is effect when it is destroyed by battle or by card effect, which will allow me to bring out Illusion of Chaos because it is a Chaos Ritual Monster. I'll get to Illusion of Chaos a bit later. Now, the final card that is considered Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard is a fusion monster that was used sometime around the Silvery Calculus arc in Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4. It came in a different version. Allow me to introduce this monster, Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Now, the Dark Magician the Dragon Knight is a dragon-type fusion monster, dark attributed with 3,000 attack points and 2,500 defense points. Now, the attack and defense points are identical to one of my favorite monsters, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now the Blue Eyes, okay, I'll get that later. The Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight's name becomes Dark Magician based off its effect. This card's name becomes Dark Magician while in the field or in the graveyard. While it's on the field, your spells and trap cards in your spell and trap card zone and in your field spell zone right over here are protected from being destroyed by card effects and from being targeted by card effects. Hence the word targeted. And there is a loop combo that will be useful when you have this card on the field. You can have as many, you can have 3 copies of this card if you really want it, if you really want to be able to have your back row protected. You never know. But I'll get to that later. So, these are the monsters that are considered Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. The original Dark Magician, Magician of Chaos Ritual Monster, and Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Now, let's get into the combos of the Dark Magician deck, so that way you can be prepared for your duel. Check it out! In this clip, I'm going to show you a combo that can help you out when you're really in trouble with someone starting out with the Lord of Dragons right over here, with Lord of Dragons on the field, and with the combination of Flute of Summoning Dragon. This person's able to bring out 2 dragon-type monsters from their hands to the field, like the Blue Eyes White Dragon over here with 3,000 attack points, and Wildtail Dragon with 2,500 attack points. They have the Heart of the Underdog continuous spell card right here, and a face-down background. And this is what you're dealing with in your hand. Now, how would you be able to pull this off? You have a face-down, you set your face-down back row right here. Face-down spell a trap right here. So here's how you do it. How do you overcome this? We use the Contact Fusion combo, and Power Boost. Here's how you do it. You're on your main. Here's the thing. You're on your main. You are about to begin your turn. Draw a card on your draw phase. Standby phase. If they have nothing on standby phase, always ask to make sure they have something on standby phase. If there's nothing on the standby phase that they're gonna do, or nothing that you could do in your standby phase, then let's get on to the nitty-gritty. Alright, let's begin this by activating our face down trap card on our turn that we set this card during our last turn. Or you can activate this during your standby phase. Either or, that is your choice. Eternal Soul, the continuous trap card, Eternal Soul, will allow you to special summon one Dark Magician from your hand or your graveyard. Luckily, we have one in our hand right over here, Dark Magician. Or you can add 1,000 Knives or a Dark Magic Attack. And they're both spell cards that associate with the Dark Magician. But with Eternal Soul on the field, it also protects Dark Magician, like these two, from being unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Unaffected by card effects means like it's unaffected by spell effects, trap effects, or monster effects, targeting or non-targeting. It makes these Dark Magicians, Magician of Chaos, which I told you before, his name is Dark Magician while on the field or the graveyard, and the OG Dark Magician. So now, I'm about to show you the Contact Fusion combo, which you do not need polymerization to bring out a monster like the Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight fusion monster. Let's begin. Since I activated Eternal Soul, I will special summon from my hand to the field Dark Magician. And make sure you announce what you're doing. Just to let you know. Just to let them know. You special summon the Dark Magician from your hand by the special summoning effect, first effect of Eternal Soul. Let me remind you, you can only use one of the effects of Eternal Soul once per turn. During your opponent's turn on the standby phase, or during your turn. Let's move on, shall we? As you see right here, how are we going to form Dark Magician the Dragon Knight with these cards in our hand? We do not have polymerization right here. Here's the trick. You see this monster right here? This is Timaeus the United Dragon. Timaeus the United Dragon, of course you know the three legendary dragons from the Sea of Orichalcos arc. Timaeus, Hermos, and Critias. They have made a monster version of Timaeus the United Dragon, which he basically counts as Timaeus in its name. There's a way you can special summon this card. Even though he is a level 8 monster, he would require you to sacrifice 2 monsters on your side of the field for the tribute summon. But read the card effect right here. It says you can send a spellcaster monster or a spell or trap card that mentions Dark Magician from your hand or face up on your field to special summon this card from your hand. So, what you want to do here, you could discard your spellcaster type monster, either the Magician of Chaos, or Apple Magician Girl, or Illusion of Chaos. So, what I suggest, and this is just me, if I were dueling, I would send from my hand Illusion of Chaos from my hand to the graveyard as a cost to the graveyard in order for me to special summon from my hand to the field and either face up attack or face up defense Timaeus the United Dragon. Now, Tamias the United Dragon is a level 8 light attribute dragon effect monster with 2,800 attack points and 1,800 defense points. Now, you're probably asking, what would Tamias the United Dragon do for you? You still don't have polymerization. Tamias over here, Tamias the United Dragon, has an on-field fusion effect. During your main phase, which you are on your main phase, you, by Tamias' effect, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or your field, including a spellcaster type monster. So, do I want to use these? No, because what we're gonna try to do is bring out Tamias the United. Use Tamias the United Dragon's effect to bring out the Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight fusion monster. So, we are going to fuse Dark Magician and Tamias the United Dragon using Tamias the United Dragon's effect. Send them both to the graveyard pile. To fuse and summon, Contact Fusion using Tamias the United Dragon's effect, Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. And here's the combo I'm talking about right here. When I told you there is a loop with these two cards, Eternal Soul and Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, like I told you before, his name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. His attack while he's on the field, Eternal Soul protects Dark Magician the Dragon Knight from being unaffected by your opponent's card effects. And its attack points are 3,000, same as the Blue Eyes White Dragon right here. In a battle between both of these two, they both will be destroyed by battle in the battle phase and both be sent to the graveyard. But how would you keep your monster? How would you keep Tamias the United Dragon on the field and then destroy Blue Eyes White Dragon, White-tailed Dragon, or Lord of Dragons? How? Take a look. This is an equip spell known as Magic Formula. Let me tell you about this. With Magic Formula, you can equip this card to Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. And since Dark Magician the Dragon Knight right here, his name becomes Dark Magician while in the field or the graveyard, you can equip this equip spell onto him in your spell and trap card zone. Equipping this Magic Formula equip spell onto Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, it'll make Dark Magician the Dragon Knight's attack points be increased by 700 attack points from Magic Formula being equipped onto him, making him 700 points stronger than Blue Eyes White Dragon. That right there is the combo to make Dark Magician the Dragon Knight stronger than Blue Eyes. Let me remind you also that Magic Formula has an effect when it leaves the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard. When this card leaves the field and sent to the graveyard, you gain 1,000 life points. Remember, if Dark Magician the Dragon Knight is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or even on your opponent's turn, you can activate Eternal Soul to special summon Dark Magician the Dragon Knight from your graveyard. Because remember, Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, his name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. And with that, we are going to conduct the battle phase. And now, Dark Magician the Dragon Knight will attack into Blue Eyes White Dragon. On that declaration of battle, Blue Eyes White Dragon is destroyed, and your opponent takes 700 points in battle damage from the difference between both of those monsters' attack points. And there is the one combo that can really help you out. Now, let's say this is your opponent. Now, you are going to end your turn right now, and your opponent draws their card. For example, on their standby phase, since after they draw, they go to their standby phase. On their standby phase, you could say, I have something on standby phase. If you still have Dark Magician the Dragon Knight right here, you can still use Eternal Soul, even on your opponent's standby phase, to special summon Dark Magician from your hand or from your graveyard. In this case, we're going to do that right now. We're going to use Eternal Soul's effect during their standby phase to special summon Dark Magician from our graveyard to the field. And that right there is an invincible combo for Dark Magician the Dragon Knight to protect your spells and trap cards from being destroyed by card effects and from being targeted by card effects. But bear in mind if the Eternal Soul trap card were to leave the field, if Eternal Soul goes, then all the monsters that are on the field, are on your side of the field, are destroyed, and they go to the graveyard. The so will magic formula. Any equipped card that is equipped on to a monster. That would be it for this part of the video. I'll see you in the next video to learn more about combos with the Dark Magician related cards to make your own personal Dark Magician deck.